Hi Aquarius, welcome to your end of January 2024 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Happy birthday. Oops. I got some cards that are upright. I'm going to just stick them back into the good old pile. Happy birthday to anybody who is celebrating a birthday in January. Oh, I can kind of see now. I was like, why is that card? It's so dramatic. The you know, the the tower. What is going on? I'm gonna pick one more off the top here. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, so been having trouble with this camera focusing, so just to give a heads up. The heart of the matter is the Tower card, and this is a card of sudden shock. The funny thing is that Uranus, the planet that rules you, along with Saturn, but this is the Uranian energy that is associated with Aquarius, the unpredictability. That planet, your ruling planet, goes direct on January 27th. So you still have, in the middle of the month, there still is some days where when it's retrograde, it's really like a loose cannon. But just in general, I would say that you may have a situation occur that something happens that you were not expecting. I look at the past situation. This may have been something that already happened. This is the Page of Wands reversed. So the Page of Wands upright can be good news. So it could have been some kind of unwanted message that kind of threw things up in the air, so to speak. And I do think that for some people that this could actually be a future event. Well, I wouldn't say I think that there could be relationship issues for some Aquarians because I'm thinking astrologically, and on the 25th, I just put up a video about the full moon in Leo, which is your opposite sign. So that can be your 7th house of committed partnership. For some people that are coupled, there might be news on the relationship front. But because it's an early degree of Leo, it might be in your 6th house, which would be work. So work or love, something that you weren't expecting and throws you for a loop. The higher message is the Hermit, which has to do with, to me, the Hermit obviously is about solitude, which Aquarius, being a social creature, may not really value that much, although I do think that obviously not all Aquarians are the same, and some of you may actually like being alone, and some of you may have your sun in the 12th house, and that's the Hermit house. So what this can mean as a higher message is that going within can be really helpful, not just to deal with something that was unexpected, but just in general, because the truth is, I think when we talk about these tower moments and somebody says, I never saw it coming, it isn't because it wasn't hidden in plain sight. It was because the person chose not to see certain things because they were really not wanting to dive too deeply, or perhaps they were preoccupied with something. But a lot of times with relationships, I feel that if somebody is really tuned in, they're going to know when another person is pulling away, when they're dissatisfied within the relationship. I don't think that a very plugged in person will often have that kind of complete, surprise. There might be some times when the other person is like totally not being forthcoming. I suppose that that's possible, but I don't think it's very often. So the hermit is about like, okay, rather than say, okay, this happened to me, say what is there for me to learn about this situation? There's something very valuable here. What is it? What crosses you is the Four of Wands. You can see that there's a domestic side to this. In astrology, the fourth house is the house of home and family. And this card represents a happy home, but it's in the challenge position. So it can indicate that perhaps this is something that maybe for some people they're programmed to believe that a happy home is like some kind of myth, that that's impossible because of how they were raised. Or it's so, and also this is a card of marriage. And some Aquarians may be adverse to settling down and fully committing themselves because they believe that by doing so, they're going to lose their autonomy. And that could very well be true if you're not with the right person. So if you feel that that other person is going to try to kind of control you, then really what you're talking about is being mismatched. And so in that case, you're doing the right thing by not going through with something. So maybe that was a marriage that didn't actually take place. And I suppose there might be some people for whom you are the jilted bride or groom, that you're the one that wanted to tie the knot and somebody else, at the last minute decided that they didn't want to. But even if that's the case, nobody should feel bad about that. You should actually thank that person, because you don't want somebody to go through with something that they don't want to do. And you don't have to tell yourself stories about, oh, I guess I wasn't good enough to, make the cut for them to actually want to be with me, and, boo effing who, I'm so this or I'm so that. That's just, people, they feel sorry for themselves and they tell themselves those kinds of stories, but there's no inherent truth to it. What's coming in is the King of Cups. This is about to me, this is ultimately about emotional maturity. This could be about somebody figuring into your life who is a therapist of some sort, some kind of a healer, but it could be specifically a male. Oh my God, they do have men in this. I thought they didn't have men. Unless it's supposed to be, I think maybe it's a androgynous woman, I don't know. But anyway, this is supposed to, I thought this was all, this is the Witch's Tarot, and I thought it was all, or is it the Witch Tarot? What's the name of this? Modern Witch? I don't know, something like that, Modern Witch Tarot. But anyway, the King of Cups can be like a spiritual teacher. It could be a water sign. Sometimes this person is older than you. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or they are very mature for their age. So the chronological age doesn't matter. Kings can be fathers or father figures. This kind of person can give you comfort, or they can give you advice, a shoulder to cry on, or they're just somebody who's in the picture, who's waiting in the wings because they want to be with you. And the outcome is the Page of Swords. So this can be like a wary stance, meaning that you're very... actually, this can be like hiring a private detective. I always call this a spy card, but it's also just being aware watching your back and not being oblivious to what's going on around you, because you need to keep your wits about you for whatever reason. If someone is, tried to pull the wool out, the rug out from under you for some reason, um, that's all the more reason to kind of watch your back. I mean, this could be a workplace situation for sure. This does not have to be um, just relationships. And the King of Cups can even be like a mediator, somebody that like in human resources that you can talk to tell your side of the story. Now, I picked an additional card because there's certain cards I just don't want to end on the Page of Swords, which can be kind of paranoid and suspicious. And I got the Three of Cups, and that's like a totally different vibe. So what could that mean? What it can mean is that a person, even if you have this tower moment, Aquarius, you may come to the conclusion that it's time to throw a party because you dodged a bullet. Whatever the situation is, whether you found yourself without a job, whether you found yourself without a spouse, you're actually going to be better off in a very clear way. So I just want to put that out there. Remember that Pluto has just entered your sign in the second half, actually officially on January 20th, which is the second half of January 2024 when this reading is intended for. So there you go, starting it off with a bang. Because Pluto to me is like the tower, where it can take things down in order to bring them back up because they were rotten to the core. All right, Aquarius, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.